What was going on with Hillary's eyes during the Philly speech? Is Hillary a reptilian shapeshifter? Is she demonically possessed? During a speech in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on Monday, Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton appeared to have something quite off about her appearance. Hillary's eyes appeared not in sync with one another, as the left eye looked to be cockeyed and displaced, especially as she looked towards the left. Do you see Hillary's cockeyed moments? Here are a few responses to mystery: what was going on with Hillary's eyes during Philly speech? Enjoy. Black Tongue says, "And I thought Bill had the wandering eye?" Q-Ever 2004 says, "She has the eyeballs of a chameleon, she can control them independently." Salem Lowe says, "Must be some seriously good drugs." Niccolo Machiavelli says, "Obama sees Islam as the next civil rights movement." Pull Pistols or Whistle Dixie says, "Holy crap. I'm getting back on the reptilian shapeshifters bandwagon." David Catchell says, "Who cares how wobbly her eyes are? It is her defective brain and love of communism that concern me." Ego says, "If you want to know why she wears glasses with horizontal lines, look no further." Mickey says, "Marty Feldman impersonation." Flintlock says, "She reinvented herself so many times she turned into a chameleon. Their eyes move independent of each other." AHZZ says, "Hill Liar-wise crooked eyes matches her crooked demeanor." Christian Nelson says, "The crossed eye is also seen during her bobblehead episode." Nidamia says, "Lock her up. Lock her up." Kim Radin says, "Even Bill refuses to choose Hillary, why would you?" Rusty Shackelford says, "Crooked eye, Hillary." Old Sod says, "Replace her ears with flippers and you could have a human pinball machine." Ibulina says, "Hillary needed another day off today." Sebvia says, "Her ideas are cockeyed worse than her eyes." Xunity says, "George Soros nutted in her eye." R0LL0 Tomasio says, "Matt Drudge, watch your back." Max42 says, "Don't know about the eyes, but this speech was nothing but how much more the government was going to give you if she's elected." On a minor note, Temple was founded as an adult-oriented night school. Diversity as the term is used today had nothing to do with it. J. Crossbow says, "Listening to this sociopath talk about the problems of America is ironic. Since snakes like her and her serial rapist so-called husband are responsible for so many of the problems of America." Sam Marlowe says, "This election is over. Wait till WikiLeaks drops proof of Hillary arming ISIS because it's coming." Rusty Shackelford says, "She looks like the Grinch. LOL. 2016 equals 1984 says, "I can't stand listening to her, much less looking at her." Tramu Angel says, "Darn, I get dizzy just trying to follow those weird lying eyeballs. You can't hide your lying eyes." Flip 56 says, "She is definitely a reptilian. Maybe a cockeyed one, but still a reptilian." Wily Coyote says, "Chameleons are able to focus their eyes independently for targeting food items, largely flying insects." Bernie says, "Her lizard eyes showing again. Uh-oh. Was David Icke right? That would be mind-blowing. What if she is shedding her skin like a reptile does? Lol. Anunnaki? Oh. Xunity says, "She was beaten with an ugly stick." Helene Hopley says, September 20, 2016 at 2:40 p.m. If you look at the viral YouTube vid of Hillary that was posted a while ago, you can see head bobbing and her eyes turning one way while her head follows long seconds after. The vid shows that in slow motion and it is weird. And now this. Xunity says, "I Twitch equals Russians." The Big Old Dog says, "Happening a lot lately. This is after she resurfaced after 9/11. Note the outfit. Look closely at A's. Nonsense says. Can we start calling her Crooked Eye Hillary? M. Wayne 11 says. Is it possible she is an early model Stepford wife who went rogue? Gofak Yusuf says. Funny. A T100. BC 1101 says. Looks like her eye is going to orbit her brain. Or Parkinson stage 3 or 4? R0LL0 Tomasio says. WikiLeaks just dropped bombshell about Hillary's health. The truth, revealed. Elaine Farrell says. I saw the first debate is broken down to 3 categories in 6 15-minute segments. Probably required for Hillary's PAM shots. Her medical record neglects her 2012 diagnosis of subcortical vascular dementia, with a lifespan of 3 to 5 years. Weisseras and her other puppet masters are propping her up. Needs to be discovered before the nation descends into chaos. Mercuvia says. It's not about her looks, it's about her eye not being able to function properly. She has suffered some severe brain damage including concussions and clots. When she passed out last week it wasn't because she was sick, she had a full-on seizure due to the damage to her brain. The race is taking its toll. This is why she isn't out every day speaking. She can't take the strain. Lukuge says. Okay, I am trying hard to put aside my partisan, negative feelings about Mrs. Clinton and look at this objectively. I still conclude there are health issues which make it very unsafe to elect her to office. Also, the stress of the job will make these issues more serious. Even those who support her should want what is best for her health. I don't think elected office is good for her at her age and with her health issues. I wouldn't think so if she was a conservative candidate I fully supported either. Xunity says. Why is Hillary so ugly? Equals Russians. Reasonableman 12 says. Trump, Putin 16. Wallig 47 says. Mentally disturbed, a serious sense of entitlement, no connection to living human beings and a self-absorbed quest for money that rivals the oldest profession. Prelusive 007 says. I don't know what's wrong with her eyes, but the bitch ought to be confined in a psych ward considering she's a proven congenital bald-faced liar and is dangerous to the security of our country. Indite Kumi says. Ocular deviation, a condition which is characterized by a deviation of their eye. Xa0 says. I notice her handlers finally got her to stop the horrible shrieking she was doing before, but she is definitely struggling with those eyes. Denny says. The stroke is coming soon. When WikiLeaks releases the next bunch of emails she will crumble faster than a crappy cookie. She knows what is coming, so why the hell doesn't she just save us the time and drop dead now? Not here either says. If she shakes her head, does her left eye roll around? The Bohemian Romantic says. I was looking up side effects of a drug prescribed for my 86-year-old mum, and that was a side effect, loss of control of eyes. My mother decided to not take the drug, which was smart. I will try to find out what it was. My mother, like Hillary, is on Coumadin. DJ says. Now it's pretty clear why she hasn't driven a car since '96. Damn, it says. One eye is always trying to turn left. Xunity says. Weird eye gate. Rusty Spokes says. The eyes on the chameleon at the zoo does the same thing just before it molts. Big Sangle says. That is a clear and emphatic proof she has brain damage. Indite Kumi says. Ocular deviation, at least 18 bad things like brain tumors, strokes and brain injury causes this. Mike says. September 20, 2016 at 2:43 p.m. A firm bitch slap should take care of a few things that ail her. Maybe they could take campaign donations for the privilege. _Centurion says. This lady has some brain damage, probably from the falls. I do not believe, in all honesty, As a person she is fit medically to deal with other leaders in the world as they all do not love Grandma, or the USA. We need strong leadership. I truly believe Donald Trump is the only leadership we have worth voting for. Just call me irredeemable and deplorable. Trump 2016. Anti-Banshee says. Forget about her eyes. Think of her Supreme Court appointments. Harry S. Truman said that only a crook can get rich in politics. The Clinton crime machine is worth hundreds of millions. Ocean says. Crooked Hillary Clinton was giving America the evil eye. Pound Nails says. All googly eyes. It's a common side effect of severe opiate addiction. She's not long for this world. Case says. I can't even watch that. Del Misrel says. Classic case of demonic possession. Bob says. A cigar was being jammed up her ass courtesy of her husband. Is that baloney.com says. Hillary says, public college, tuition-free for working families, and debt-free for everyone as the mind-numbed liberbots in the audience clap and cheer, having no clue they are getting excited about more government waste, fraud and abuse, plus higher taxes for everyone. President George Washington Trump says. At that very same rally Hillary needs help going up 2 steps to podium. Mary says. That was spooky. She looks evil. Dubster says. I suspect that she is a Slovene, perhaps the sister of Blinful-Foch Pasamir. A Slovene was a female Raxicarocophaulapatorian and a member of the criminal Slovene family. On Earth, she took the skin of the human MI5 member Margaret Blaine. Her main characteristic were a copious amount of farting and a penchant for criminal behavior. To see what her real image looked like, click below. Deplorable Snail Mail Trucker says. This old bitch is possessed. The Big Old Dog says. Again, zoom in and look at her eyes. This was after she climbed the stairs to the plane. Xa0 says. Remember that weird head-jerking motion she made at the Democrat convention when she looked at the balloons? Something was off on that too. Looked like she tried to play off an involuntary motion. S. Almaticus says. Can you say late-stage Parkinson's disease? Indite Cummy says. Only a paid DNC troll can miss this. Called ocular deviation and it is bad. Kim Farry says. I am not sure though I am afflicted with a lazy eye and at times this causes image and spatial confusion. This appears to be the case in the past with Clinton's need to wear prism glasses. We might be seeing one eye suppressing vision in that eye to resolve problems with convergence insufficiency. A doctor should note the problem. There are any causes to this type of dysfunction. In my case they first checked for a stroke or TBI and later it was diagnosed as born-in. Mc 903 says. Advanced Parkinson. That is also why she is wearing a leg bag catheter. She has reached the is incontinent level and also likely has lost control of her bowels. At this time, you can be sure her people know and are using her until she is no longer able to do so. The truth is not says. Now, speeches will be given outside, in broad daylight so she has reason to wear dark sunglasses. Silver Fidel says. She's always had a Charles Manson stare, made more chilling when coupled with her metallic voice and choleric, scolding delivery, but this is really bad. The poor woman is a medical mess, a rambling shambles. She can't even walk a flight of steps on her own. She should retire for her health and for the sake of her grandchildren. John J. Holliday says. Acute exotropia is the sudden development of crossed eyes from no apparent reason in a school-aged or older child with previously normal vision. Immediate evaluation of the child with acute exotropia is necessary to determine the underlying cause. Among the possible causes are a few potentially life-threatening conditions such as meningitis, encephalitis, and head trauma. Andrew says. This vile person is speaking to college tuition, when her and Bill both routinely give their garbage speeches at colleges and charge as much as $250,000, Today's college kids, that's $250,000 for a 2-hour liberal rant. Absolutely sickening. BC 1101 says, Hillary medical episodes shows symptom like Parkinson, PD, vacant staring, bobbing, frozen thoughts, seizure, non-stop coughing and loss of motor ability. PD can slowly progress to stage 5 when a person becomes totally delusional, dementia and immobilized. Hillary pneumonia can be a side effect of PD due to not able to swallow saliva and traveling into the lung, or someone has a weak heart not able to pump fluid out of the lung. When interviewed by the FBI, HRC claimed she cannot remember a lot of things. Why would anyone want someone like her to be POTUS? Justice League says. The Grim Reaper draws nigh and waits patiently. Nomo Bongo says, Hillary should release her autopsy report. Justice League says. Please add your comments below. What do you think about Hillary? Is she a reptilian shapeshifter? Is she demonically possessed? Or just mentally and physically ill?